30th birthday started with so much joy and anticipation. I had planned a surprise trip to an old picturesque town with my closest friends and family. We rented a charming cottage on the outskirts of town, surrounded by rolling hills and lush greenery. The weather was perfect, and we spent the day exploring quaint shops, indulging in delicious local cuisine, and reminiscing about old times. As the evening approached, we returned to our cottage, and my friends and family presented me with a beautifully wrapped gift. The box was adorned with a red ribbon and an ornate bow, and it looked almost too exquisite to open. My heart swelled with gratitude for the love and thoughtfulness of my loved ones. With eager hands, I untied the ribbon and carefully removed the lid of the box. Inside, nestled in delicate tissue paper, was a vintage-looking book bound in leather. It had intricate designs on its cover and felt like it held a mysterious secret within its pages. I was an avid reader, so this gift was perfect for me, or so I thought. As I opened the book, a sense of unease began to creep over me. The pages were filled with strange symbols and drawings that I couldn't decipher. It was as if the book was written in an ancient, forgotten language. I turned the pages further, and an odd sensation came over me, like I was being watched. Suddenly, the room grew colder, and the candles flickered ominously. My friends and family exchanged worried glances, but I was too engrossed in the book to notice. I turned another page, and that's when I saw it. A drawing that looked like a grotesque, nightmarish creature with eyes that seemed to follow me. My heart raced as I slammed the book shut, but it wouldn't close. The pages continued to turn on their own, revealing more and more disturbing illustrations. Panic set in, and I threw the book across the room. It landed with a thud, but the pages kept turning, as if an invisible force was manipulating them. My loved ones rushed to my side, and together we watched in horror as the book's pages finally came to a stop, revealing a dark incantation written in blood-red ink. As we read the words aloud in a trembling voice, the room began to shake, and an otherworldly presence filled the cottage. We had unwittingly unleashed something malevolent, something that should have never been disturbed. The once joyous occasion had turned into a night of terror as we struggled to contain the dark force we had unleashed with that ominous birthday gift. My 30th birthday had become a nightmare, and I would forever regret opening that cursed book. My 27th birthday was supposed to be a joyous celebration with friends and family. We gathered at my parents' old farmhouse, a place filled with cherished memories. The day began with laughter, delicious food, and thoughtful gifts. However, it would soon take a horrifying turn that none of us could explain. Among the gifts I received, one stood out: a beautifully wrapped antique mirror. It was ornate, with an intricately carved wooden frame that seemed to hold centuries of history. My aunt explained that it had been in our family for generations and was said to have some mystical qualities. I was intrigued and decided to hang it up in the dining room as a centerpiece. As the evening wore on, we shared stories and reminisced about the past. The atmosphere was lively and full of love, but then as the clock struck midnight, the mood shifted. We heard a strange, eerie whispering coming from the direction of the mirror. At first, we thought it was a trick of the wind, but the whispering grew louder, more distinct. We gathered around the mirror trying to make sense of it. The words were indistinct, like a language we couldn't understand. Fear started to grip us, and my cousin Mark decided to touch the mirror's surface. As soon as his hand made contact, a chilling cold spread through the room, and the whispering intensified. In a panic, we tried to pull Mark away, but it was as though the mirror had a grip on him. He screamed, and his voice seemed to be swallowed by the mirror. Then, in an instant, he was gone, vanished into the depths of the mirror. Tears, screams, and confusion erupted as we tried to comprehend what had just happened. The mirror had taken Mark, and there was nothing we could do to bring him back. We contacted the authorities, but they could find no trace of him. Desperate and terrified, we decided to seek answers. We consulted with experts in the paranormal, and they suggested visiting a nearby cemetery, where spirits were said to be more receptive to communication. With trepidation, we ventured to the cemetery one eerie night, carrying the mirror with us. We set up a makeshift seance, hoping to make contact with whatever force had taken Mark. As we attempted to communicate, the atmosphere grew heavy, and a spectral figure appeared before us. It was Mark, but he looked different, pale, hollow, and tormented. He conveyed that he was trapped in a dark, twisted realm within the mirror, and begged us to destroy it to set him free. With heavy hearts, we shattered the mirror into 1,000 pieces, and in that moment, Mark's spirit was released. The horror of that night haunted us for years, and we could never explain the supernatural events that transpired. We buried the shattered pieces of the mirror in the cemetery, hoping to keep whatever malevolent force was contained within from ever causing harm again.